Direct variation and inverse variation. We'll first review what a direct variation is. The equation for direct variation is y is equal to kx, or k is equal to y divided by x, where k is the constant of the variation. Let's make a table that represents a direct variation. Our x values are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Our y values are 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. In order for this to be a direct variation, we know that y is equal to kx. We also know that k is equal to y divided by x. So I need to have the same value or a constant value when I take y divided by x. And in this instance I do. So my constant is 3. So if I were to write an equation, my equation of this direct variation is y is equal to 3x. Here's a graph of a direct variation. It's a line that goes through the origin. All right, tell whether the equation, table, or graph represents a direct variation. Here are the answers. Inverse variation. The equation for an inverse variation is y is equal to k divided by x. X times y is equal to k, and k is the constant of the variation. Let's make a table that represents an inverse variation. The x values are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our y values are 24, 12, 8, and 6. In an inverse variation, we take each x times y, and it should give us this constant number, or the same number. So in this case, when we take x times y, each time we get 24. So that's the constant. So if I were to write an equation to represent this table, it would be y is equal to the constant, which is 24, divided by x. This is a graph of an inverse variation. What are some similarities and differences of direct and inverse variations? Tell whether each relationship is an inverse variation, a direct variation, or neither. All right, number 7. In order for this to be a direct variation, every time I divide y divided by x, I should get the same number. If this is an inverse variation, every time I multiply x times y, I should get the same number. So this is an inverse variation. So y is equal to 100 over x. Again, to be a direct variation, y divided by x should always be the same. To be an inverse, x times y should always be the same. In this case, neither direct or inverse. Number 9. In order to be a direct variation, y divided by x must be the same. In order to be an inverse variation, x times y has to be the same. So this is a direct variation. And the equation to represent this is y equals 5x. Number 10, the number of presents versus the rolls of tape. So we first want to identify our x and y values, or our independent and dependent variable. Rolls of tape is dependent upon the number of presents, so the rolls of tape are y, and the number of presents are independent, or x. In order to be a direct variation, y divided by x needs to be the same. Or if this is an inverse, x times y needs to be the same. And in this instance, neither one are the same, so it's neither a direct or inverse variation. Number 11 is a direct variation, and number 12 is an inverse variation.